Hello, Earth Cave Undead Slaying Tubers. I don't know, my intros are rambling out of control. Welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy 1 Dawn of Souls Game Boy Advance Solo Challenges Black Mage Edition with me, BlueAnkylo. The Black Mage who wears the best color of robe. Make no mistake. So, yeah, hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to episode 4? 5? I don't know. I'm not counting. I add them all up later once I'm finished recording the series. But yeah, welcome back everybody. Last episode we really easily blazed through the Marsh Cave. We killed Astos first try. We blazed through the first run of the Earth Cave first try up to the Vampire and out. So that was all pretty lucky. We'll see if our luck holds for today's episode. I don't know. I've been talking a little bit about whether or not mages are just more resistant to being stun-locked, and I guess we'll test that theory out a little bit more on the most dangerous floor of the Earth Cave. Or we won't fight any of the dangerous enemies, and we'll just have a nice, relaxing time fighting ogres and wolves. Yeah, why not? Makes my life easier. Don't have to worry about dying if it's just easy fights. Remember how many times I had to reset just to make it through this with the fighter and the thief? And it wasn't even like... I couldn't get the luck to get this far into the floor without running into this combat. Because this combat kept hitting me like 2 steps into the cave. Now, see... The Black Mage here keeps getting hit by enemies that have Paralysis Touch. Way more times than the fighter or the thief. And he never got paralyzed again. So, I really am starting to think that there's something about Black and, like, just the mages in general, especially in the Dawn of Souls version, maybe more so than the NES version, that makes them really resistant to, status effects, basically. So, that's kind of a new thing for me. I haven't really looked up the behind-the-scenes logic and math and all that, but it certainly feels like the Red Mage especially was really overpowered. And now even the Black Mage, I'm like, they can't touch him. They have to kill him with physical damage, but otherwise the status effects, they do nothing. Again, with a little bit more luck, we'll basically be clear of the deadly third floor, having fought one bad encounter that normally would have killed my poor fighter or knight. But, you know, thanks to Fire 2, that's a bit easier. And the fact is, we just weren't getting stunned, and we didn't even see those bad encounters. Anyway, I'm still going to put a save here. I'm not so confident that we'll make it through again without being killed by stuff like this. But we'll see. I mean, if the thief had gone first against those kind of enemies and been able to flee on the first round, like they're supposed to, that would be a fairly easy combat. But a lot of the times what would happen is the thief would go last, the 3 cockatrices would all get an attack, and one of them would turn him to stone. So, you know, again, how does the much lower agility Black Mage manage to out-turn the thief? I don't know. Okay, here's another stun lock group. They also hit pretty hard. Nope, no stuns, of course. Now, the Black Mage went last, but not getting stunned again. So, looks like we're probably going to make it through the whole Earth Cave without any deaths. Not that I'm complaining. Don't mistake my confusion with disgust. No, I'm quite happy that this is all going so easily. It's just... I don't understand exactly why. Anyway, without much further ado... Oh, did I forgot? I forgot to turn the run speed on. Oh boy, we've been doing all these dungeons at half movement. I should have turned that on ages ago. Okay, so let's save it up. First up, let's use some ethers. That's why we bought them. Might as well go into this fight at max MP, just in case. This is the fight that I've been worried about, though, so... Wish me luck. Better put on the boss music, right? This'll do. Okay. The Lich. So I don't think we really have any strategy other than try to kill him before he kills us. And hope that we don't get put to sleep or stunned. Luckily, the slow spell has no effect on us. And that was a weak attack for turn 1. Alright, so 277 is less damage than I wanted. It's going to take us 5 turns to kill him? That's pretty bad. If you cast that spell twice in a row, we're dead. Sleepra, look at us shrugging off the status effects. So what, this is number 3 or 4? I lost count. Well, pretty lucky on that. Haste is really bad, but it buys us another turn. Because now when he attacks, he's going to do a lot more damage. But we might kill him right here. Look at that! Black Mage taking out the Lich first try. Only had to use 1 high potion. Honestly, pretty happy with that result. So I was, fairly high level. Don't misunderstand. I'm a higher level than the Thief or the Fighter were. But that wasn't really because of explicit grinding. It's easier to kill everything you run into with the Black Mage, because you can just use magic to win every fight you want rather than running away. It's faster to kill stuff than to flee. So cool. That's done. That was, I think, other than Chaos, that was the most difficult fight for the Fighter and the Thief, pretty much for sure. Although Astos killed them both quite a few times, of course. Oddly enough, the mages have been easier than the Fighter, which is a stark contrast to the way the NES version went. I suppose the truth is, Dawn of Souls, as much as it's overall kind of an easier game, it's probably more balanced. Like, in the NES version, the fighters were just really overpowered. They were statistically better than pretty much anything at bosses and just almost everything in the game. And the way your, like, the on-use items, like the Mage Staff and the Zeus's Gauntlets, because of how magic damage was calculated, the fighter got just as much value as the Black Mage for casting fire too, so you might as well just have a fighter that can do everything. But now in the Dawn of Souls, where things are balanced, it's actually suddenly pretty cool to have a kind of a glass cannon Black Mage that's actually doing pretty good at killing stuff. Okay, well, with that done, we gotta go pick up our canoe, and then I have to decide of the 3 options where to go. I always get comments, I'm just gonna stop you right there. There's always some comments saying you should always go to the Castle of Ordeals first, or Castle of Trials, whatever you want to call it, to pick up your Rat's Tail, your Golden Bracelet, and your Zeus's Gauntlets before you go to either the volcano or the Ice Cave. People tell me this all the time. It's one of my most common comments on these solo runs. And I do it for some classes. So I'm just going to speak about it for a little while here while we travel around doing the same old fights. If you're playing as a white mage, you have to go to the Castle of Ordeals. So you're always going to go there before the Ice Cave, or else you can't kill the eye. Basically, with melee attacks. It'll almost always kill you with magic before you can kill it. If you're playing the Thief, especially in the NES, specifically in the NES version, Solo Thief, you will have to go to the Castle of Ordeals, again, because you won't be able to kill the Eye boss in the Ice Cave without the Zeus's Gauntlet. If you're playing as anyone else, though, you don't need to go there. Everybody else can kill the Eye fairly easily, and assuming you get some luck avoiding the stun locks, you'll be fine. And the downside is going to the Castle of Trials is just about as bad as far as stun locks and instant death. It's a different group of enemies, but they will be pretty effective. Oops, that was the wrong spell. Not like it well, I could have survived. I still might have a chance. Almost got really lucky. Well, that's fine. But yeah, so anyway, all I'm saying is that there's a couple classes that you have to go to the Castle of Ordeals first, depending on what version of the game you're playing. That's fine. But if you're playing as a lot of the other classes, going to the Castle of Ordeals is optional. You could, and you'll have a couple advantages by doing it first, assuming you can survive it. But the caveat, of course, is that if you can survive the Ice Cave, if you do the Ice Cave first, you'll immediately have access to the floater and the airship, and therefore the ribbon. And as soon as you have the ribbon, the Waterfall Cave is quite easy. As soon as you have the ribbon, going to the Castle of Ordeals is completely trivial. It's so easy. There's almost nothing that can kill you, no matter what class you are. Except for Solo Thief. But basically everybody else can just blast through it. So yeah, that's kind of my logic, is I do go there for the classes that need it, and sometimes I go there for the classes that don't. But if you're on a very powerful class like the Red Mage, poof, I don't even know why you'd bother. Just go straight to the castle, the Ice Cave as the Red Mage, you'll be fine. And if I'm correct, and Dawn of Souls makes the mages more resistant to status effects than the Fighter Thief Black Belt, it's even more like, just go to the Ice Cave, you'll be fine. You can nuke down the eye fairly easily with black or red, and once you're done, you'll be, non-stop go mode to the end of the game right there as soon as you get promoted and buy your ribbon, or pick up your ribbon and get your pro ring. So what am I going to do here? Lots of high potions, enough ethers, normal potions don't matter. I'm going to pick stun up. Not going to spend any more money than that, though. I was thinking about it. With that, we're going to go straight to the Ice Cave. I mean, I think I just sort of explained why. I'm going to continue to test out my theory about the mages being particularly strong against Stunlock. And the truth is, just like the Red Mage burned through the Ice Cave so easily, I have a feeling the Black Mage will have a similar time. In fact, even easier in some regards, because his magic damage will be higher. He'll do proportionately more damage per fire spell, Fire Aga, than the Red Mage would have, because our intelligence stat is, sheesh, almost twice as high as what the Red Mage was at this point. And even this river is like easier because we have access to Thundaga, which the Red Mage did not have access to. So heading up this route into the Ice Cave is, I think for the Black Mage, there's really no option. I mean, if I did the Castle of Ordeals first, I'd be going through another difficult dungeon with the chance to get stun-locked, paralyzed, etc., etc. And the reward would be a free cast of Lightning 2, which is nice, but doesn't really matter. We've got lots of MP. Even on the NES, you have enough charges of Lightning 2 that it doesn't generally make much difference. The only item you really would get that would be a benefit to the Black Mage is the gold ring, or the ruby armlet, depending on your version. And sure, a little bit more defense is nice, but it's still not going to be enough to really decrease the damage you take significantly. So you're basically spending a fair bit of time doing a relatively difficult dungeon that you don't need to do to get a small advantage on another dungeon where, if you're worried about stun locks, it doesn't really fix you that anyway. The gold bracelet doesn't suddenly make this fight any safer. You just take slightly less damage as you get put to sleep and turn to stone, which, doesn't really help. So, yeah, that's my logic, is there's not really anything in the Castle of Ordeals that makes much difference to the Black Mage or the Red Mage. Alright, so let's see if the Black Mage's crazy luck continues. This fight is one of the reasons why, if you don't have access to Lightning 2, having that Zeus's Gauntlet is very handy, because especially if you're a White Mage or an NES Thief, there's no way you survive that battle. You can't deal enough damage with your physical attack, and you can't run, so you're screwed. Luckily, Red and Black don't have that problem. So these guys should be able to stun me, but they don't attack like 3 times like the little zombie guys do. Even as a fighter or a thief, that group didn't kill us very often. These guys, I don't know what element they're weak to, if any. I'm gonna look it up. I just don't know what spell to cast, so I'm looking for... Oh, past the... It's after the volcano, ice cave enemies. So Dark Wizards are actually not weak or strong to any element. What about his friends, the fighters? Maybe there's... Actually, I should check these while I'm here, too. Nothing. Fire. Were there, I'm looking for the, whatchamacallit? The little brothers of the Dark Wizards. The, Dark Fighters, or whatever they're gonna call them here. They're not, maybe I haven't actually killed one, technically. I don't know, whatever. I just wanted to see if there was an element I should be using specifically. Anytime now, stun lock me. I almost, look at that, 4 attacks, no stun lock. I'm starting to feel like maybe Black Mages don't get hit by statuses very often. No real need for the Fire Sword. This is a fairly lucky group in terms of it doesn't have the 3 hit stuns. It's a lot of damage, but still, no being stunned is pretty lucky. Alright, well, we're maybe halfway through approximately at this point. Blood Bones don't really matter much. It's one of the safer fights, for sure. You know, I don't think they have a weakness. I wonder if we could just blast them. That works pretty good. I forgot to check how much HP they had, but that worked. I'm just going to overkill again. It'd be interesting if there was a mechanic like spell casting time. Like, that's a Dungeons and Dragons thing. So that, like, lower level spells could be better because you're more likely to cast them earlier on in the round. Whereas your most powerful spells should almost guarantee you go last. Like, casting Nuke could be balanced so that you actually have to wait the whole round and cast it last. Of course, then, if you added, like, interruptions and stuff, it would be really lame, so I don't know. Alright, well, I'm gonna put a save in, because the eye technically can one-shot instant death you, but I think we can one-shot instant death it. So, yeah, no big deal. Now, if you were playing as a white mage, you know, that's gonna be a tough fight, or a NES thief especially. Okay, well, again, so far we haven't had a single death. I mean, the dungeon's not over yet, so anything can happen, but we're 3/4 of the way through, I'd say. Still no stuns. Look at that. They all got an attack, or most of them got an attack in, most of them hit. Still no stuns. Maybe when you play on, like, Star or New Game Plus mode, suddenly enemies don't hit you with stun locks the same. Because the fighter and the thief were both on not game clear mode files. I wonder if that's like some sort of weird difference. Like, I'm just trying to think of what could possibly have changed my luck. Like, look at that. We didn't get even turned to stone once. Everybody else got turned to stone a dozen times. Well, okay, there. Totally gonna die this time, right? I mean, they kill me with damage. I didn't even get stun locked. I'm gonna die because of damage, but okay, well, at least we died once. So if I hadn't put a save in the middle, we'd have had to start over at least one time. And I guess that's something. But I stand by, we still have not been stunned. Like, they all got an attack in. Here we are standing, not paralyzed. I'm really curious. Like, I don't know what else it could be other than just mages don't get stunned. Or it's much harder to stun them. Like, I guess it probably really is magic resistance. It's hard because there's no in-game description of how much your magic defense is, and assumedly the mages just have such high growth for their magic resistance stat that if it applies to status effects, which it probably would, they're maybe not immune, but very hard to get hit by it early on. I don't know. Looks like we're probably done the dungeon here, though. One death, technically, and it was only because of an ambush taking too much damage. That would have probably been a guaranteed kill for any character, because normally that would be a guaranteed stun lock. You never even get an action before you're dead. So, I don't feel bad about that. I'm mostly just curious about how we managed to not get stunned a single time, or turned to stone, which is very, very classic Ice Cave death. So again, I feel like I'm justified again in saying doing the Castle of Ordeals would not have made that dungeon any easier for the Black Mage. It would have made the Castle of Ordeals much harder, and made no difference at all for that dungeon. So, that's my opinion. I don't stand by it as the absolute truth, but I do feel like it's justified. And I only say these things because we get into... I'm not going to call them comment wars, but sometimes I get very, we'll call them strongly argumentative commenters now and then. And I'm not calling anyone out, I don't have nothing against it. But I do get people every now and then that are very strongly of the mind that, Blue, you're wrong, you did this the wrong way, my way is better. And I'm just saying, you know, it's not so black and white, you know? Sometimes that's a good idea. Not always. Not always. Alright, we get our big defense up, our big stat protection, which maybe doesn't even matter. I mean, the Ruby Armlet makes a difference. The Protect Ring will also give us more defense. But maybe we don't even need those things anyway, who knows. Let's sell some stuff off. Yeah, I did notice that I only barely had enough money for my armor. So I'm not going to be buying level 8 magic or level 7 magic for a little while. 30 grand for Blizziga. I should probably pick up some cash. Let's see, we're 21 minutes in. You know, we've done, what, the Earth Cave and the Ice Cave today? We're really just blasting through stuff. That's kind of what I figured would happen. You could definitely get some money in the Dragon Isles, but let's go get the ribbon first because, well... Not that status elements have been a big problem, but you never know when they will turn into a problem. And regardless, the ribbon giving us half damage from all elements, fire, ice, lightning, that's a big difference too, even if you're not getting status locked the same. So I feel like it's just always going to be worth it to pick up this ribbon. I'll be killing some enemies as we go. Oh, wait. Oh, these guys are strong to a lot of magic. This actually might be one of the more dangerous fights for us. Let me check. Now that we're using our elemental spells more rather than our physical, I want to see if they're weak to any specific element here. Clayman I'm looking for. They'll come after the Ice Cave stuff, probably. Fire Cave, Ice Cave, so somewhere down here. There should be a set for... Oh, this is into the Sea Temple. I must have zipped by them. There's stone golems, which resist fire, lightning, and ice, but I was looking for the clay golem specifically, which is probably earlier on in the list. Sorry, let me just zip through here. I'll try to catch it. Clay golem, there we go. Fire, ice, lightning. Okay, so yeah, these guys are actually pretty bad matchup against our Black Mage for now. Nightmares, I feel like it usually was ice that you used on these things. Yeah. Sometimes I remember. We're just gonna try to... Ooh. Yeah, okay, so there's definitely one battle in here that I wasn't anticipating that's actually quite deadly. And it's those clay golems. We don't really have a way of surviving that fight just yet. But soon I'll have a way of not dying to physical attacks. And as with pretty much every character except maybe the White Mage, this is a huge buff. I mean, I always talk about coming to the Waterfall Cave explicitly for the ribbon, but the defense sword is, like, just as powerful. Or even sometimes more useful, depending on what you're fighting. Alright. Is this the best you got? A bunch of stupid birds that can't probably hit me with stone, even though every other character's scared stiff of them. Alright, we got the Warp Cube. Boring old wizard staff. Can't even equip it. You can't even equip the wizard staff. I guess you need to be a wizard, huh? Alright, status immunity for sure now, as well as half damage from elemental and the defense sword, which will give us the ability to finally not die to big physical hits. So that's pretty nice. I mean, we'll still need to survive a couple turns, and we've got really low HP, so we could be killed before we have a chance to defense up. Like, I wouldn't want to fight the Kraken right now. I'm going to try to kill these guys, so I'm going to use my strat. We're going to defense, then we're going to defense. Now, they hasted, and they're still hitting me after 2 defenses. Let's try again. 3, and then now let's try to kill them with my most powerful magic that they'll take half damage from. 140. Maybe it's faster just to go double Thundaga, but I feel like they would be hitting me very hard if I was just taking turns here, right? Like, Still managed to kill them all in 2 spells. But yeah, at least the evasion strat is strong. Probably the escape strat is just as good against enemies that are like that. And again, I don't know the formula for evasion or running away either for fleeing. But it could be level dependent or agility dependent. In which case, you know, you'd think the thief would have an advantage, but who knows? Alright. Is this 25 minutes in? Jeez, are we going to do the Castle of Ordeals as well as all this other stuff? Why not? Earth Cave, Ice Cave, Waterfall, Castle of Ordeals. Just get it all done in one episode. Because we can win every battle pretty much in one spell. Almost all battles. I mean, given the enemy's difficulty in turning us to stone or paralyzing us, I suppose going to the Castle of Ordeals might not have been that difficult as the solo Black Mage in Dawn of Souls. I have a feeling status and all of that is... Like, I don't think the magic defense works nearly as well in the NES solo, in the NES Final Fantasy 1. Unless I'm really getting confused here. You know what? I've got the money. Let's go pick up our bottle right now. Let's not fight the Desert Berettas though, because they're gonna kill me pretty bad. We just don't have enough HP. We can't survive those kinds of fights. Alright, we'll buy this bottle while we're here. I was gonna, like, buy Blizziga, but I don't know if I'm gonna have the money for it. I think we might. I think it's like 25,000 or so, right? It's usually 40, I think. In the vanilla version. It's probably 40 originally then, so 30k. Do I have anything to sell? The wizard staff might be worth enough. Hold on. Nice. That's worth tons of money. Also, I don't need gold needles or antidotes anymore, so let's clean that up. So this was a very efficient trip. Lots of pretty much everything I needed to get done in this dungeon is done, or in this town. The town is not a dungeon. Oh yeah, of course. At some point I'll buy that, but psh, who's got money for cat claws that you'll never use? Now I say that, sabering up with cat claws might be the actual strat for later on, but I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure if we're gonna go with the Tensor's transformation on the mage or not. I'm not sure there's a way to do that safely. Okay, so... sure, let's get one more out of the way, why not? We're zipping through this game on light speed. Time for the Castle of Trials. We talked about it in this episode, so let's get it started. Alright, so we're up to 40 MP spells here. Doing how much damage? 320, not enough. We gotta do over 400 to kill these guys. But I'll take that steak. I'll char it up nice. Should probably be saving after every fight. That would be smart. One good ambush by a big group here and you'd be dead for sure. Not much you can do about it as a low HP mage. Like that. Nah, they don't actually do that much damage. If it was in the river and there was like the killer crocs or white crocs, I guess, an ambush by them would be death sentence. I feel like it was probably worth picking up that Blizziga spell. Although honestly, we're not very far off of Nuke. And that's where things get really silly as a Black Mage. Or Flare, sorry. I gotta remember what version I'm playing. I just like calling it the Nuke. So far, so good. Not a single encounter. Let's pick up this anyway. Ooh, ambush is bad luck. Let's try to not die. 2 haste. Gotta heal up a little bit here, because I think they could do over 100 damage. I'm gonna defense up again. Just trying to be safe more than quick. These guys, this would be a good time to have Nuke, because they would not resist it. So you'd be doing like probably 350, 400 damage. Oh yeah, we're looking forward to that. Maybe next episode we'll make our way to the Nuke. That'll be cool. Hey, some Minotaurs that are dead. So, sorry about that being dead thing. You burn up pretty good when you're dead. And the levels keep coming. Do I care about the healing helmet? I don't know. So yeah, Mind Flayers with the ribbon and the pro ring are pretty much free. I don't think they can actually deal anything to you. Honestly, the nightmares are much easier when you've got Blizzara at a good high damage. And again, Medusas, this is why if you come here before you've got the ribbon or the mage super protection, this is a very dangerous area. Just as dangerous as the ice cave, in my opinion. There's a lot of enemies that can just kill you. These guys, in case you didn't know, also have paralyzed touch. So this group is just about as bad as a group of undead wights that have, or maybe it's the hold spell. But either way, they can paralyze you, and that's pretty bad if you're not a mage, I guess. Rakshasha, probably weak or strong to all elements, but low HP, so it doesn't make much difference. Yeah, the Ice Brand. So technically, if you come here as a fighter before the Ice Cave, you get a better sword for the Ice Cave, but it doesn't really make any difference. You're still going to kill everything in one hit, so I didn't really worry about that. The Mithril Sword is more than enough, and you can pick up the Flame Sword in the Ice Cave anyway. That's actually a dangerous random encounter. Don't think you can run from them, and they've got Paralyzed hit as well. Alright, Rat's Tail gets! And one more Zombie Dragon. Wham Bam, thank you ma'am, and the Mega Elixir random drop. Cool. Well, I suppose our final task for today's episode, just to stretch things out a little bit more, is to go get promoted. I can't not get promoted now that I got all my goodies, right? And I think around this level, soon, like 1 or 2 more. Just keep killing enemies. We're real close. Gotta have something else to look forward to for next episode. Oh, we're running out of MP. Oh no! Luckily, even Blizzara is doing a lot of damage. Okay, let's just make sure I don't die here on the last stretch. Oh no, T-Rex! I mean, not a T-Rex, but kind of like a baby T-Rex. Okay, we're good. And the Dragon Cave. Alright, here we are, assuming I can take the stairs right. And, without further ado, Black Wizard gets. So now we could equip the Cat Claw if we wanted. More importantly, we can learn all the spells we haven't learned, like Nuke and Warp. And not much else makes much difference, but those two are really good, so we can learn them. And that's that. So I guess we'll end the episode here. Yeah, we did a lot of content for today's episode, so that was pretty crazy. Next episode... I'll probably go pick up Nuke, and then we'll start nuking our way through the dungeons, because it shouldn't be too hard at this point. Alright folks, thanks for watching, hope you've enjoyed. I'm definitely having fun with the Black Mage playthrough. We had the most difficult start of any character, but I think the mid to late game, other than the bosses, is going to be such a breeze compared to the other classes. So, that's pretty fun. Anyway, thanks for watching, hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.